Looking at number 22. Which inequality is equivalent to 7x minus 2y is greater than 8? If you look at your answer choices, they all have y by itself. So that's what we need to do, is get y by itself. So the 7x has to move. Remember that you look in front of it, not after it. It's a positive 7x, so when I move it, I'm going to subtract it. The negative has to stay with the 2y. So negative 2y is greater than 8 minus 7x. Everything needs to be divided by negative 2. And so it cancels and leaves me y. You have to remember here, and this is what they're testing you for. Do you remember that when you divide by a negative number, you have to flip your symbol and this becomes less than? 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. Negative 7x divided by a negative 2. Two negatives make a positive 7 over 2x. So it doesn't matter that they have it in the same order. It matters that they have the right numbers and the right signs and the right thing with x. So we've got to have a positive 7 over 2x, and it's got to be y is less than. So your first thing is get rid of the ones that are not less than. It can't be this, it can't be that. We need a positive 7 over 2x, which would be here. That's good, that's wrong. And then we need a minus 4. So H is your answer. Number 23, the sophomore class needs a combined total of 216 medium and large t-shirts. Okay, so we're going to have M's and we're going to have larges, and we need a total, which means add them up. So medium plus large has to equal 216. The number of medium t-shirts, so M is, remember the is means equals, 3 times the number of large, so that would be 3L. Based on this information, would it be reasonable for the sophomore class to order 72 large and 144 medium? Well, first of all, 72 plus 144 is 216. So that part works okay. It works all right there. Medium is, what'd they say? 72 large and 144 medium. Is 144 equal to 3 times 72? Well, 144 is equal to, that'd be 216. So your answer is no, because that does not work. So get rid of these. Now, is it not because the number of medium is not 3 times the large, or no because the number of large is not 3 times the medium? Medium is 3 times the large. So no, because the number of medium t-shirts is not 3 times the large. Looking at number 24. Okay, long paragraph. We don't really like that. Stop and focus on the math. We have an equation here, and we have an equation here. And they want to know to describe the change. Well, what changed? What changed was the number at the end. Okay? Did it go up or down? It went up 500, right? So 500 feet higher, maybe. 500 feet lower, no. Faster, maybe. Slower, no. Okay, so now, was that number the starting point or the speed that it was happening? It's your y-intercept. What have I told you about y-intercept? Y-intercept is always the starting point. Slope is the speed. This was y-intercept. It's the starting point, so it starts its descent from 500 feet higher. Number 25 gives you a set of points and wants to know which of the following is the same relationship. Okay, so we've got to have negative 432. Remember that the first number is x and the second number is y. Remember that y and h of x are the same thing. So if x is negative 4, y is 32. Do you see this? It's backwards. Can't be it. I'm going to D next. From negative 4 to 32 is good. From 3 to 4 is good. From 5 to 14 is good. From 7 to 32 is good. That's good. Probably, especially on test day, I would go ahead and check these others. If you go to y equal and clear it out, and you put x squared plus 3x plus 4, and then you go and you look at your table. Okay, let's go second graph and pull up your table, and we needed negative 4 to be with 32, and it's not, so that tells me that one's wrong. 3 had to go with 4, over 3 up 4, that's good. 5 had to go with 14. 5 did not get to 14. So that went ahead and verified that yes, D is my answer. On the test day, you need to check all of your answer choices, not just stop when you get the one you think is right. Okay, what is the value of x? So the system, to solve the system, remember when you solve a system, you've got to either get y by itself and put in y equal, or you can solve by elimination or substitution. I recommend getting y by itself because you're used to doing that. You do that a lot. So on the first one, we're going to move the 6x, and it becomes 3y is equal to 13 minus 6x. And then everything gets divided by 3. So I would put that in at y1. And so I would say 13 divided by 3 minus 6x divided by 3. Okay, so then for y2, we've got to move the, for the other equation, we've got to move the 3x, and it becomes negative y is equal to 4 minus 3x. Remember, you look in front of it to see how you move it, and remember that that negative stays with that y. I can't have a negative y, and the way I fix that is I change every single sign. So positive y is equal to negative 4 plus 3x. So I'm going to go to y2 and put that in. So I have negative 4 plus 3x. And then I'm going to go second, calc 5. I'm going to let it draw. Enter, enter, enter. X is 1.6 and y is 1. So x equals 1.67, y is equal to 1. They're asking for the value of 6. Which one of these is closest to 1.67? It's not that. So you're just going to check each of these. Go to your home screen and say 5 divided by 3. Oh, look, there it is. 5 divided by 3 is the same thing. There's your answer. Once again, you'd want to check the other two on your calculator. You have plenty of time. You need to make sure you got the right answer on the real test day. Number 27, what is the zero of the linear function? Remember, a zero is also known as a solution. It's also known as an answer. It's also known as the x-intercept. It's also known as a root. Basically, it's where it crosses the x-axis. So right here is where it crosses it. So what is your 0? 1. Going to number 28. Hang on and we'll get there. The function y equal x squared plus x minus 6 is graphed below. What are the values when x squared plus x minus 6 equals 4? They're saying, what is x if y is negative 4? So you come down, here is where y is negative 4, so those are the parts we're wanting. This point right here, what's x? 1. And this point right here, what's x? Negative 2. So negative 2 and 1 would be your answers. Going to number 29. Remember, we don't really like to read the whole thing if we don't have to. We have an equation, and we want to know what does x represent. We're going to have to go back and read. That's okay. Sometimes you will. The store manager begins each shift with the same total amount of money. Okay, so your starting point is how much you have at the beginning. She keeps $200 in a safe and distributes the rest to the 5 cashiers in the store. The situation can be represented by this function. So is it the total amount of money at the beginning, at the end, or the amount of money each cashier has at the beginning or end? Well, first of all, is it talking about the beginning or the end? What are they talking about? It begins each shift. So it's not the end and it's not the end. So is your x representing the total amount you have or the amount that each cashier has? It's going to be the total amount that you have. She has this much, she pulls 200 out for the safe, and then she divides it by 5 because there's 5 cashiers. Number 30, what is the equation in standard form of a line that goes through 124 and has a slope of negative 0.6? Remember, this is where you start out with y is equal to mx plus b. They gave me x, they gave me y, and they gave me the slope, which is m. So instead of y, I'm going to put 24 equals, instead of m, it's negative 0.6 times, instead of x, it's 1 plus b. 24 is equal to negative 0.6 plus b. Add my 0.6, so 24.6 is equal to b. So my equation would be y is equal to negative 0.6x plus 24.6. And you're like, none of those look anywhere close to it. Okay, well, a couple of things you could do here. You could take these and get y by itself. Or you could take the one that we got and put it at y equal. So negative 0.6x plus 24.6. Go to your table and find a point. 124, which we already knew 124 was a good point, right? This is probably what you should have done to start with, really. It's probably the easiest thing. You're going to put 1 in for x and 24 in for y and see which one works. Really and truly, that's what we should have done from the start. It's the easiest, fastest way. So you would say 3 times 1 plus 5 times 24. And you get 123. So F does not work. And 77 does not work. H, it works. J, it doesn't. Oh, look how easy that was. Okay, so everything I did, it works, but it was a lot harder than what you should have done. Okay, take the point, put it in for x and y, and see which one it works on. Looking at number 31, which coordinate pair is in the solution set? Really and truly, I wouldn't even mess with using the graph. I would test my points. Remember that you have an x and a y. So for A, y is 0 is less than 1 minus 6 times 1. Just punch that in your calculator. 1 minus 6 times 1. And you get negative 5. So your question is 0 less than negative 5? And it's not. So it's not that one. So now you check B. And so y is negative 1 is less than 1 minus 6 times 1. We already figured out that 1 minus 6 times 1 is negative 5. Is negative 1 less than negative 5? No, it's not. It's bigger. So try 0, 1. 1 is less than 1 minus 6 times 0. 1 is less than, if you take your calculator and you say 1 minus 6 times 0, and you get 1. Is 1 less than 1? No. So then you try the last one. And y is 1 is less than 1 minus 6 times negative 1. So let's say 1 minus 6 times negative 1, and we get 7. Is 1 less than 7? Yes, it is. There's your answer. It's just trial and error. Looking at number 32. Which graph does not represent y as a function? What they're saying is which one is not a function. Now, it's easy to ask that, and you know how to find it, but they want to trick you by the way they word it. Which one does not represent y as a function of x? You need to know that all that means is which one's not a function. So what you have to use is your vertical line test. Okay? Is it possible to hit this more than once? No. So this is a function. If I draw this one, am I going to hit it more than once? This is not a function. Is there anywhere I can cross it twice? Nope, it's a function. This one passes it as well. Which one is not is H. Read carefully because they're not going to bold or underline the word not. And if you weren't checking all of your answers, you would have gone, oh, this is a function, here it is. But when you go back and read, you realize it's supposed to be not. That's why you check everything. If you hadn't read it and you thought this was the answer, you would have realized when you got to G, oh, that's a function too, what's going on? And you would have gone back and reread the question. So read carefully and check all answers. Number 33, the graph of line P is this equation. The slope is multiplied by negative 10. So this right here times negative 10. Okay, so we have y is equal to 1/5 times negative 10. And you get negative 2, so it becomes y is equal to, start over, y is equal to negative 2x minus 1. So do they intersect? Are they parallel? Did it go up? Did it go down? I did not change the number at the end, so it did not go up or down. They do not have the same slope. They're not parallel. They're going to intersect.